Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm Karen Yankovich. I'm here with Sarah Michelle Brown. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. And this is our weekly Tuesday Women Supporting Women live show where I have been bringing on my guests from my podcast on to interview, to kind of do a follow-up to the podcast and if anything's happened since then, or just to dive a little deeper into the topics with maybe if you guys, if you want with some interaction, hopefully there'll be people that want to chat with us. If not, Sarah, I can talk for a long time. I'm not sure about that. So Sarah was episode 130 of the podcast. Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about you and who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'd love to. So first up, when you said this is it's like the interview after the podcast, it reminds me of like Oprah. Where are they now?
Do I not give you that same vibe? Before you get started, I just want to mention that if you guys are watching this on Facebook and you haven't logged into StreamYard, I'm just like, this is what I see. So I'm saying hi back, but I don't know who you are. So I'm not being rude. I'm just letting you know that I don't know. So hi back, but if you don't want to log into StreamYard, that's fine. But just let me know who we're talking to. So we can personalize this. So anyways, Sarah, go ahead, tell everybody a little bit about you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Michelle Brown, and I am a filmmaker, actor, and virtual video director for big dreaming, amazing entrepreneurs who know they want to make videos for their businesses, but they are terrified of their cameras. I help empower them to essentially take the fear they're feeling and turn it into excitement, to take that like awkwardness and turn it into action and help them make videos that their dream clients fall in love with. That's me.
Awesome. And you do some great videos. You do some great videos. So Sarah and I met a few years ago, and we actually have done a lot of collaborating over the years and brainstorming and masterminding. And we've met in person a few times. One time, more than one time, right?
It's got to be more than once.
Yeah, I feel like it's more than one time. Sarah lives in Toronto. You're still in Toronto?
I'm just north of the city at the moment.
Just north of it, okay.
Yeah.
And she comes to New York every now and then. So when she comes to New York, I try to make time to hang out. Because it's so fun to do that. Like that's basically what I teach is human to human connection, right? Sometimes, and like now, I don't even know if you probably can't even get to the US, and I surely can't get to Toronto. So this is it. This is it at the moment, right? So, so how has that affected like your business? I mean, because I think to me, I think all of us have kind of recognized. Well, I almost want to say like, thank goodness for video, right?
Yeah.
So, how has that impacted what you do?
It's a great question, Karen. I'd say how it's impacted what I do is just people are a lot more aware that video, like there's no messing around with it anymore. People who've been hemming and hawing about it or who've been hiding from it and feel scared of it are feeling more like, okay, I need to do this because either like their businesses are pivoting to an online from like an in-person to an online model, or they're just realizing they just really want to cover themselves for down the road, and make sure that video is a strong part of their business. So I'd say that's the biggest one.
I mean, for me, I feel like it's in many ways, and sometimes it's the only connecting I'm doing, right? Like I live by myself. I've always worked from home, but I was going out. I mean, I live in New Jersey. We can get out now every now and then, although it's starting to swing again. So hopefully, you're I'm playing that balance anyway here. Like how much am I comfortable doing versus being stuck in my house, right? But thank goodness for video, because at least it gives me the opportunity to see my friends, see my family, and Zoom videos with my high school friends, my college friends. One of my high school friends is doing Zoom yoga classes. Other high school people. And, my great aunt turned 95 and we did a Zoom birthday party for her, right?
Wow.
So videos become important just to stay connected personally, which to me translates also to your business, right?
Absolutely.
Because we can't meet people in person, I think that this is as close as we can get to hugs and human, and handshakes.
Yeah, this is the next best thing to being in person. And sometimes it's actually better than being in person because video helps create a kind of a mystique around you, or it gives you, it brings you up a notch from entrepreneurs who are not doing it.
Mm.
So, video sometimes is better than being in person, says the introvert.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
When this whole pandemic started, like back in March, I was doing daily live videos. And it didn't serve what I wanted it to serve, but it did serve a lot of things. And one of the things it served was it made me get up, get dressed, like put some
Yeah.
makeup on and be camera ready, because being camera ready isn't really about being camera ready. It's about being like not being in my pajamas at 5 o'clock. So it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't know what you're talking about.
right. So it kind of forced me, right? Again, not at all, right? It kind of forced me to do it. And so that to me was as valuable for me. But I really connected with a lot of people that way. I got a lot of feedback. And I kind of, in some ways, want to go back to doing that, but it wasn't really serving what I wanted it to serve. So I
Sure.
stopped doing it. So tell us a little bit about that. What are you seeing? Like most of my audience is entrepreneurs, but even those that are, in a paycheck job, what could we be doing now to kind of, especially if we're looking down the road at maybe, not getting out as much even as we are right now, winter's coming, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'd say like the funny thing with video is it doesn't always necessarily serve your immediate purpose for it, but it shows up in other ways. So, for you doing all those lives back in February, maybe it didn't get you to the goal that you were actually aiming towards, but it did other things for your business. It helped,
absolutely,
to show that you are like a real bona fide person in the world, and that you care, that you're, had that consistency piece. Like, video at the end of the day, when done well and done right, is just the surefire way to build that, the know, like, and trust factor. And people who are going to spend money on something online, while it's easier than it used to be, back in the day, it's like, buy something online, are you crazy? Right, now it's like kind of like every day you're like, oh, what's Amazon saying? But for
exactly,
right,
I need to like put my mail guy on my income tax dependent.
Exactly. But I think what, at the end of the day, at the very basic level of video, is it is a point of connection.
Yes.
It's a way to show up in a genuine way and not hide behind anything. Even though you're behind the camera, there's a screen, or perhaps thousands and thousands of miles between you and the person who's watching. But there's nothing really to hide behind. Like this is my face, it's my voice, this is my hair, it's my clothes.
Right, exactly. When people say, I don't like the way I look on video, and I want to really kind of say, well, that's how you look to other people when they're sitting in the room with you, right? Like, it's not like, right? Like, it's how you look. You don't look different on video than you do when you're sitting in a room talking to someone, right?
Yeah. And what's funny, Karen, is like, because so many of my clients come to me, there's either one thing or a million things they don't like about themselves on camera. And they fight me at the beginning with what I'm about to say, but eventually they come around to have this type of transformation where, like, let's say it's like, oh my gosh, have you seen my face on camera? Like, no, I have a great face for radio. I've been told many times in my life, screw you, I don't want to make videos.
Right.
What's actually going on there is, on a deeper level, it's actually just the inner critic being really loud. And because the inner critic, it doesn't tell you the truth, it tells you what it wants you to hear. So how we can all get really hard on ourselves and be like, who are you to do this? Who are you to have a voice? Why is anyone to be interested in you? And all these things that we thought we'd worked out through our, many years, can often manifest when you start to think about making videos. And so the person who's like, oh, I'm too this, or I'm not enough of that to make videos. No, you've just been approaching it the wrong way. Because exactly who you are, as you look, as you show up, your personality, it's exactly what your dream clients are looking for. It's exactly what they need.
Oh my gosh. I love that you're saying that, your dream clients. I want to just pull that statement out a little bit because not only does it attract your dream clients to you, it lets the people that are not connected to you know that up front, so there's no mismatch. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur, it's hard to say no, right? To somebody who wants to make money, right? So best that you know up front if your energy is going to be an alignment or if it's going to clash, right?
Yeah.
So I love that you talk about that, because that is, I believe that firmly, that I teach LinkedIn, and I'm telling people all the time, be you on your LinkedIn profile. Like, don't pretend, don't be all corporate, don't pretend to be somebody you're not, because you're going to attract the exact right people.
Yeah.
And I think video helps with that. Video
Absolutely.
helps with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no.
One of the things that we've been talking about backstage at Karen Yankovichville is talking a little bit about what kinds of videos our people could be using on their LinkedIn profiles. So if I said to you, I want to start advising my clients on a, hey, I'm Karen type video for their LinkedIn profile, because now you could use that featured image section, right? So you could use the featured image section. You could say, get to know Karen, and click on it. It opens up a video. What should that video say?
That's a great question. And
sorry to put you on the spot, but I thought it was I thought it was just brainstorm about this a little.
Yeah, not at all. What came to mind first of all is that video is not actually about you, that it's about them. So I think that's what a lot of people mistake with video. They get freaked out because they're like, oh, it's like everybody's looking at me and it's all about me. But actually it's not. It's actually about your dream client. And the reason, like, for us as audiences, that we can look at someone and go, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And we put that person in the spotlight. But the reason we do so is because you're talking to us. You're speaking our language. You're telling us about our pain points, our needs, our hopes and dreams. Not yours.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that profile should really, or that profile video should really be about your dream clients, and to start the conversation.
I love that. I think that's a great idea. I actually
get them to take action. Sorry, it just keeps coming.
I'm going away for a couple of days to actually do a little mini retreat type thing, like solo retreat type thing. I just made my tripod with me so that I could maybe for my
absolutely do that. Do that.
I don't have to be so formal in here. So
I love that, Karen.
Yeah, cool. Because I think it is important. I think it is important that, here's the thing that I think, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Here's my thoughts on this. My thought is that as video becomes more ubiquitous, and as it's on Facebook and Instagram and stories and reels and all this stuff, it becomes less important that it's formal. And I think a lot of people say, well, I'm not, because we worked years ago on what should my background be and what should I look like? All this stuff is still important. Like, I worked in the past couple of months when I was just doing so much video. I was like, my house has been under construction forever. So what's behind me in my office has been like a mess, not just like a mess, and like all this crazy stuff. And while it still needs work, at least I feel comfortable now that I can just turn on my camera and talk. And when I was doing those daily videos, I had green screens up. I was in my dining room. My whole house was taken over by it. I had the lights up. I had a light in front of I was sitting on one side of the dining room table. I had a light on one side of the dining room. I think lighting and sound is important. Like right now, I have a light, like, I forget what it's called, the Lume Cube.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. I have that like plastered to the back of my monitor because it's there all the time. It doesn't take up a ton of room like a ring light or something would. And it's low profile, and it gives me at least a little bit of lighting.
But
that is the extent of it. Like, I think that a lot of people are like, well, I need to know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And here's what you do. You pick up your phone and you turn it on and you start talking, right? That's what you do, right? Tell me your thoughts on that. Like, you probably want it to be a little more formal than turn on your phone and start talking.
No. Well, here's the thing is turn on your phone and start talking. Yes and no. So for anybody watching who's brand new to making videos, if you're still really uncomfortable on camera or scared, of being seen and heard, I highly recommend that you turn on your camera and start talking, but don't do it in the realm of your business. Don't do it in a way that your dream clients are going to see it. For people who are really terrified, it's time to really do practice videos. And the more of those that you do, the more comfortable you're going to get on camera. For those people who are comfortable on camera, yes and no to just turn it on and go. Because, for example, I was working with this woman who was a yoga instructor, and she, first of all, I was, taking a look at her videos and seeing like what improvements could be had. And she felt there was some sort of a disconnect, but she couldn't put her finger on it. And as soon as I saw the videos, I was just like, okay, here's the disconnect. Is you are presenting a serene front to us, and your backdrop is cluttered like crazy. So it gave the opposite effect of what she was hoping for, and also would put doubt in people's minds that she could actually deliver, because like,
Right.
I don't buy that this woman's mind is actually peaceful with a background like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for example, for you, let's say, because you're a social media genius, if I don't know, if all of a sudden you had just like a backdrop that was completely unaligned with you, you know what I mean?
Right.
That it just would feel like, I don't know. So as long as it's like, you can live with it and your brand can live with it, it's not going to cause confusion or doubt in that people have in you, like, then you're okay. Then I say, yeah, press it go. Like I'm set up in my living room here. I'm actually working on setting up a home studio, my own space.
Nice.
Yes, I'll be very happy not to set things up and pack it down every day.
Which is I do, and that's really why I was happy to finally get my office set up where I could be comfortable just turning on it makes a huge difference to my productivity. Because you don't want to live in that mess. Like I could leave it up, nobody's here for me, but I don't really want to leave it up, like I don't want my life to be my business, especially now that we're not leaving the house a lot, right? Like,
yeah, that's a big deal. And I think, having that separation helps, but yeah, if you're sitting around, there's also a thing with content, right? As people, I think that's a big stress that people have around, like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to make videos about. Mm-hmm. Get curious in your own business. Take a look at the frequently asked questions that people are always asking you about your business, break down your process. If you've got programs or, if you do one-to-one work with people, take small parts of that and teach small pieces of that, I think we overthink things too much at the beginning of the process. And they're like, oh my God, like it's got to be this epic content. No, it can be real simple. Like some people don't even know. Yeah, even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to really watch your 15-minute video. They don't. As much as you think they do, they don't. If you can give them one great tip in a couple of minutes, those are I think a great way to get started. I mean, obviously this is 15, 20 minutes, right? So hopefully people watch. So I say that watch this, right? But you know what I'm saying, right? Like it's you have to be careful if all of your videos are that long where you're just going to lose everyone's attention, because that's what your courses and your programs are for.
Yeah.
Right? The longer videos.
Yeah. And also like, people have a longer attention span for live streams as opposed to a pre-recorded video. So, also keep in mind like the format. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to record something, or for you, Karen, I'm going on this retreat, I'm going to film something for my LinkedIn profile. And then all of a sudden you do like a 40-minute video, like no one's going to watch that.
Right.
No one is going to watch that. 2 minutes.
Right.
2 minutes, and in that 2 minutes, you've got to give them value.
Yeah. Cool.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit just quickly before we wrap this up. Tell everybody a little bit about how you support people with their video journeys now. I mean, I know that you've done a lot of really cool things. You've done directing and producing and acting and all that cool stuff. And now you help us, which we're so grateful for. We need your help.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how you help them and how they can. I mean, obviously, you guys see the podcast episode 130 is how you can listen to the longer conversation that we had. But and there's all kinds of stuff there, links to Sarah's stuff. But what do you got going on?
Yeah. Awesome question. Well, the things that I have going on are essentially I start working with people for the most part when they are in that first phase of making videos, and they're terrified or they're awkward or freaked out, overwhelmed, intimidated, all that fun stuff. And they often sign up through I have a 5-day visibility challenge. So that kind of gives them the first piece and the first inkling that maybe they can actually do this. Time and time again, people say, like, they do the visibility challenge and they start it off and they're like, Sarah, no, trust me, I will not be able to do this. And I'm like, okay, trust me, you will. Just do the work. Right. And, because video is one of those things where it requires action. And it's no mistake that a director calls action. Right. Thinking about it won't get you done. If you have actors on set and they're just thinking about the scene, no, you have to do the scene. And with video, you have to do the work. So that's a great way that people get started with me. And I find that people, once they have gotten past that first awkward stage, they really start to get excited about things such as, learning how to speak to the heart of their dream clients. They get excited about the technology, the thing they used to be so overwhelmed by before. Right. So I work with people in one-to-one work in small masterminds, and also I'm launching my. It's okay, honey.
It's actually not even my house phone. I guess it is my house phone. It's my business phone that rings. Anyway, sorry guys. I don't want to talk about the phone.
No, it's kind of a good opportunity for an unintended lesson here is mute your phones. But also it's like, don't let it get you, like, freak you out. Don't let the mishaps that happen, like, let's say you forget what you're going to say, or you hiccup, or you say a lot. I say a lot, by the way. But if the phone rings, this, that, and the other, there's dogs howling in the distance at the moon, you don't let it get you. Right. You don't necessarily ignore it. Like, if there's a howling dog, you don't just be like, what howling dog? There's no howling dog. You do have to acknowledge what's happening, but then be the professional, move forward with grace and humor. It's done.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah. It's so funny. I always have my house phone unplugged. I don't even know why I have a house phone. Maybe sometimes I like to use it when I'm in the house, like rather than this. Yeah. But I plugged it. I realized it was unplugged probably for a month. Because when I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is probably. I don't even remember unplugging it. And then I just in recently and said, I should plug it in. I should plug it back in. So, but you're right. But here's the thing too. That's gonna happen when you're home. And if you're doing a pre-script, not scripted, but if you're doing a video like for your LinkedIn page, let's not use the phone ringing in the background. But for something like this, or you're doing live somewhere, like, you're right. Just don't worry about it. Just move on. I think when we did our podcast, didn't we have a whole bunch of
we had some sort of hiccups going on.
We kept getting disconnected, and like, is it like Mercury retrograde? Like, what the heck? And it just happens. It happens, right? It does. It does. More when people are starting to realize it happens, now that more and more people are relying on technology. Yeah. But that kind of gets back to my original point, which is it's okay to be real. It's okay to be real. Like, everything doesn't have to be, you don't have to be dressed like you're, like you're Jennifer Aniston to do a video. No. Like, you should really just be you. Yeah. Right. And if it means,
Karen, I washed my hair for you today. I even cut my hair for you today. And again, I've been up north. I've been up at my parents' cottage for the last month, but it was a hair bun every day, hats every day. I was like, I don't feel like dealing with my hair. But I was like, you know what? Maybe you're back in civilization a bit. Like, kind of stop look like a cave woman.
Well, and it feels good too, right? Like, that's what I mean. That's why I did those daily videos for a while. Yeah. I need the motivation, because when I'm dressed and showered and ready, even if it's camera ready, I'm more likely to be ready to work than, oh my gosh, I got to get off the couch and get out of these pajamas kind of thing.
Yeah. So, now, Karen, before we wrap this up, I'd love to chat quickly with your peeps, if you're okay with it, about this thing around how to make videos that speak to your dream clients.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love that.
Okay, so if we use your LinkedIn profile video as an example, and you are kind of going like, okay, I have an idea of who my person is, but like, how do I actually talk to them? Like, how do I make sure that I'm reaching into their heart and letting them know I understand them?
Right.
And part of that, then I'll go back to the number one thing is always make sure you're comfortable on camera. You know, that you're comfortable showing different parts of yourself. You know, perfect is boring, but as long as you can show up as who you are,
Yep.
you're in the gold zone. So when it comes to making sure that you're talking to that person, part of it has to do with language. You know, we're taught all this stuff of like, find out what your client's language is and what are their pain points. And so all that homework actually comes in really helpful, not just in copywriting and in marketing, you know, on paper, but also on camera. So having like a cheat sheet of different states of mind that your people are in, a cheat sheet of different pain points that, you know, or that they're frustrated with, having that handy as like a kind of a go-to reference for you. So when you know, you are doing a live video or a, you know, 2-minute profile video, that you are tapping into those words that let them know that you are their person.
Love that.
Another thing to do, thank you. Another great thing is, particularly with video, is that you have the power to change someone's state of mind and state of heart, state of feeling, more so than any other method out there. Like video, just slap a little music on it. You can get people crying over SEO. Like, well, granted, a lot of people probably cry over SEO. But
I might be guilty of that on occasion.
Yeah, but you know, video has it's such a powerful medium to change emotion and to encourage specific emotions. So if you know that, let's say for your person, for example, I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, when they're at the beginning of their journey with you, that person that you're trying to get into your circle of awesomeness, what kind of feelings do they have around social media, LinkedIn, all that fun stuff? Give me a couple.
Okay, so they're feeling, excuse me, they're not feeling as confident as I want them to feel. They're holding back a little bit. They are concerned about saying how great they are. Like they need a little, you know, Karen loving to push them past that comfort zone of saying nobody does this better than me.
Yeah.
Right. And there are times when we're working with people on LinkedIn that we literally have their profile done and it has to sit. They have to sit on it before they're ready to make it go live, because they have to kind of step into that person and own it. You know, a lot of the work that we do is your LinkedIn, your resume is who you used to be. Your LinkedIn profile is about the person you're becoming. So you really have to dream big and you have to be thinking like that person and then coming back and infusing it. Otherwise, it's a New Year's resolution that you just come back every New Year's and need to lose the same 20 pounds, right? So, there's a lot of mindset stuff that has to happen to have the kind of success that I want people to have.
Okay, so they're feeling frustrated, they're lacking confidence, and they're also like, they don't feel that they're that person yet. So tell me about what they want to feel when it comes to social media.
They want to feel connected. They want to feel connected. They want to feel authentic. They want to feel, you know, helpful and supportive, not spammy and, you know, right? So they want to be perceived as helpful and supportive.
Okay, so if you imagine now, especially, you can do this with every single video you ever do, but especially for any marquee videos that are in important places in your business, that's the journey that you're taking them on in that video, is from where they're at right now to where they want to be. So you actually want to, through the video, give them a little feeling, a little sense, a little emotion stirring of how they're actually going to feel from working with you. Okay. And that's really what the power of video is. That's the big
Gosh,
power.
Sarah, that's so good. You just helped me with my marquee video. Did you guys catch that marquee video? My marquee video. I got to write that down too. Marquee video. We're gonna call it marquee. Can I borrow that?
You can borrow it, of course.
Okay. Marquee video that you're gonna put on your LinkedIn. On your LinkedIn page, because I think it's listen. There's so many. Most people go right to wanting to promo there, right? And I get it, right? I get that, but how does that really help your person?
Sure.
Right? Yeah. How does it really help your person? Is if you're doing if you're doing social media, any marketing, they can find your stuff. Yeah. They're not finding your stuff, right? So what's better for them and what will make them come back is if you do this marquee video and you invoke their emotions around what you're doing. Oh, so good, Sarah.
Yes.
So good.
Very important. Because anybody can give the facts, right?
Right.
But if you can give them a hint of what it's like to feel or what it feels like to work with you and how they're going to feel when it's done. And that comes through the copy 100%. So what you're saying, what they're seeing. So you can add in either extra footage that you have shot or really great stock footage to put over, like people laughing and feeling happy, or a sunrise, or ocean waves, and they're working on the beach. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then adding music on top of that, a little something in there that raises their spirit, makes them feel more hopeful. Also music, like depending on if you're going for a corporate audience or like a heart-centered business, or change up the type of music as well. It's just it's unlimited the potential of video.
Guys, we all need to hire Sarah to help us with this, because this is what separates us. These are the people that are not just surviving but thriving through these crazy times, right? Because they're personalizing their approach. They're not using AI tools to try to reach 10 million people. They're personalizing it. They're coming from their heart and they're reaching into your heart, and that's, I think, where business is done these days, right? Human to human, heart to heart. Not, can you sell pens with an AI tool? Of course you can, right? But, it's a lot of pens to pay your mortgage, right? So let's go for the higher ticket stuff and really connect with your audience. Oh my gosh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. No pressure.
Right. No pressure, Sarah, but I'm gonna be watching. No, but you know what? It's gonna be fun to do that. It's gonna actually be really fun to do that. Yeah. So I am definitely gonna do that. I'm definitely going to do that. Awesome. So it's going to be fun. You're going to hear from me. So she's laughing like she's going to be watching me. Like she's not going to hear from me going.
Yeah. All of a sudden you defriended me. I'm like, Karen, where'd you go? You're like, no, my video sucked.
All right, cool. Okay. On that note, we're going to wrap because that was so good. I think we're not going to muddy this up with anything unnecessary. So good. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. You guys check out episode 130. Good girl. KarenYankovich.com/130 gets you to the full podcast episode. All of Sarah's links are there, but obviously we'll make sure you know how to find her and connect with her on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Here we go. All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.